Everybody, Legend for Life here, bringing you guys a brand new video. So, yeah, I know I'm a day late, okay? I've had a very busy past few days, and it's frankly not going to get any better since school starts next week. Fun! So, yeah, don't be surprised if the uploads start kind of slowing down a bit. I still want to try and do them daily, but it's going to be a bit sporadic until I get back into my groove. Anyway, so Vjump leaked yesterday, and can I just say that this is the most like underwhelming Vjump ever? I don't know what, so like nothing in here really surprises me. There's no like surprise support. There's no like really awesome support. We didn't get any look at the new DT archetype following the events of the crawlers and the Stargrails. But however, there's some interesting things in here. But again, it's just nothing in this Vjump is like super interesting to me, at least personally. Like I kind of read through this. It's super small. There's not much in here. And now, granted, Vjump comes out the 21st, so we might see more cards leaked on, well, announced on the 21st. And I hope so, and hopefully we'll get to see more, because this was all data mined off of the Vjump website. Off of some people who were fooling around with the image URLs and found these. So it'll be interesting to see if any more stuff gets announced later on. Anyway, so let's start off with stuff from Extreme Force, blah blah. I can't say that for some reason right now. And we got a new Bitron monster, and it's an effect monster, not a level 2 normal monster, which is very interesting. And it's a 1500 attacker, 2000. It's called Bit Trooper or Bit Looper. They aren't really sure which translation they're going to go with, so I'm gonna guess off of the just artwork and stuff that it's gonna be Bit Trooper, because, well, he's a soldier. Also, just mirror, does he kind of look like a like chibi version of Balancer Lord from this structure deck that comes out in a few months? Anyway, so he's a level 4 Earth Cerberus effect monster, attack 1500, defense 2000. So he's got the attack of the second Bitron monster, Digitron I think is what he's called, and then he's got the defense of the first one. Actually, I think the first one has 2100 defense. Either way, he's got really good stats. And he's got just really good everything going for him. He's an Earth, he's a Cerberus, he has good stats. And so you can use him for a lot of different combos and stuff. And the big thing is his effect. So you can he's a hard once per turn, so you can only use this effect a hard once per turn. You can send one level 2 or lower monster from your hand to the graveyard, spell summon this card from your hand. Really good. You just pitch one of your Digitrons or Bitrons and you special summon him, or heck, any other level 2 or lower monster. It doesn't have to specifically beat him, so like you can send your Stack Reviver, your I forget what he's called, but the little like dot monster that looks like he's from Dot Hack Heroes or something. I forgot what he's called, but he's like the little dude. If he's sent to the graveyard, you can spell summon him, and then if he's banished, you can spell summon him. You can only use each effect once a turn, well, once a duel. I think he's in the structure deck as well, but still really good overall. And then we got Belt Link Dragon, who, I'm gonna be honest, I was not expecting this card or like half of Revolver's cards from that duel to be printed. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't done a video on those because I just haven't had the time, and like no one watches my videos talking about the Frane's anime anyway, so like I just stopped doing it. But I freaking loved that duel. It was just amazing. I loved every second of it. And I am genuinely surprised that this card is getting printed. It's going to be very interesting to see how they censor this artwork, because he's just literally, he's a belt of bullets. And he has a gun on his tail. So, oh god, Revolver's whole like archetype and everything, and is this going to get like censored to high hell? I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the Magic Bullets, because that last Magic Bullet monster who has like guns on his guns, oh my god. Anyways, Belt Link Wall Dragon, he's a level 6 Earth Dragon effect monster. He just really good stats, 0 attack, 2100 defense, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by his own effect. When you link summon a monster or monsters, I don't know how you link summon multiple monsters at the same time, but okay. You can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, place 2 counters on it. Neither player can link summon a link monster whose link rating is higher than the number of counters on this card. Also, only link monsters can attack. If a monster is link summoned, remove 2 counters from this card. Once per turn during the standby phase, place 1 counter on his card. So they literally kept this whole thing's freaking anime effect. Every single bit of it is from the anime, haven't changed at all, and it's just so incredibly good. This card is really good. Okay, so first and foremost, he's a free monster. He's a free level 6. So just literally just going into a link monster like a Decode Talker, you can just plop him on the field, and then, oh hey, you can use him for more links. Now granted, he also is just a really decent floodgate in general. Just being able to make it to where only links that can attack. You can't summon anything higher than the number of tokens counters he has, which locks out your opponent's stuff, because you go and make your big, like, Borolo Dragon, your other big monsters and everything, and then you plop this guy on your last link summon. Your opponent's not going to be able to summon anything higher than a link 2. Well, actually, by the time it turns over to their turn, they won't be able to summon anything higher than link 3, which is still really brutal, because that prevents them from being able to counter your link monsters. Now, that being said, though, it says nothing about Xyz, Synchro, or Fusion, or Ritual, so yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see if this card gets any play. I could definitely see him being used in, like, Hieratics, maybe, as well, because he is a level 6 dragon, which is really great. Just an overall really good card. And then Mythical Beasts, out of all things, are getting more support. Now, there's a bit of contingent, I think that's the word I'm thinking of, about whether or not these guys are related to the Phantom Beasts, because Gazelle, the king of Mythical Beasts, is technically part of the Phantom Beast archetype, but then, like, you got Mythical Beast Cerberus, who is not part of the Phantom Beast archetype, so it's really confusing. And these guys have more in line with Mythical Beast Cerberus, who revolves around spell counters, and this is a spell counter Pendulum deck. Holy crap. Okay, whenever I first saw this, I'm like, oh my god, Konami's making a Pendulum archetype in the Frames era. This dumbfounds me so much, because I was not expecting this at all. I was thinking that the Frames era was going to be a lot like the freaking Zexal era, where we just get the new summoning mechanics shoved down our throats and all other summoning mechanics are ignored. Guys, in the Zexal era, not counting bonus sets and side sets, like Hidden Arsenal and stuff like that, there was 1 Synchro, 1 Ritual, 1 Fusion released in the entirety of the Zexal era in the main sets. Everything else was Xyz. And the only reason why we got a Pendulum, Fusion, Synchro, and a Ritual in Code of the Duelist is because the Pendulum, Fusion, Synchro, and the Pendulum, Fusion, Synchro, I feel like I missed, and Xyz were all spillovers that weren't put into Maximum Crisis. I don't know why we didn't get the Supreme King stuff in Maximum Crisis, but it annoys me. And then the Ritual obviously was the Vendread Ritual, which, by the way, Konami's giving the Vendreads to Japan in the extra pack that comes out with the Sub-Terrors and the Spirals. So I don't get it. Like, maybe we're only getting 1 wave of support for Vendreads. I hope to God that's not the case, because that'd be stupid. But either way. So it really does surprise me that we're getting a Pendulum archetype in the Vrains era. Especially since, if you look at Circuit Breaker, there's nothing but links in that set. So I really hope that they keep up with this, where we're going to get more archetypes focused on the other summoning mechanics. Now, that being said, though, if these first few, we got 4 cards revealed for this archetype. If these first few cards are anything to go by, Mythical Beasts, while they are Pendulums, they're not going to be focused on Pendulum summoning. So let's cover this. So Mythical Beast Jackal, he's a level 1 Dark Spellcaster Pendulum Effect monster. Attack 0, 1400 defense. Really bad stats, but he's a level 1. And honestly, his effect is key. So this is the big part of this archetype. You can only use the Pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. If you control, and if you do not control another card in your Pendulum zone, you can target 1 face-up card you control. You can place the spell counter on, destroy this card, and if you do, place 1 spell counter on this card. On that card. So right away we see the 2 big things that this archetype is going to be focusing on. Having 1 skill, using their effect, and then getting rid of it, and spell counters. Okay? And so that's the whole point of this archetype. Each of the monsters that we've seen so far have an effect that you can only use if you do not have your skills set completely, and then they destroy themselves, do something, and then, oh hey, it revolves around spell counters too, which is very interesting. Spell counters has a lot of support. And heck, they even had a structure deck from forever ago with Edemion and stuff. And so seeing a return to spell counters is very, very interesting, especially since spell counters can get really, really broken, especially whenever you take into consideration that there's a level 6 synchro for spell counters that can burn your opponent to death if you have enough spell counters on your side of the field. I can't remember what its name is, but like you remove all spell counters that you control on cards that you control, and then do 500 damage to your opponent for each spell counter that you removed. I've been playtesting with Mythical Beasts with these new new Pendulum cards, and holy crap, you can rack up so many spell counters so fast. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so then this thing's monster effect is what really makes this thing great. I mean, you're probably going to use this effect once in a blue moon, but its monster effect is really, really great. So each time a spell card is activated, place one spell counter on this card. When it resolves, okay, cool. And then you can remove 3 spell counters from your field, not just this card. Then tribute this card. Special summon 1 mythical beast effect monster from your deck except himself. So right away you can summon any monster from your deck so long as you have 3 spell counters somewhere on your field. If you have Magical Citadel Edemion out, that thing can get a lot of spell counters really, really fast. And then it also counts for other stuff. And again, a lot of the stuff that spell counters utilize are continuous spells and traps, and also obviously the field spell. So you're going to be able to really rack up those counters really, really fast. And this card, being a 1-for-1 target and just being a dark spellcaster, makes it so incredibly good. And also, of course, it's Boss Monster, the Mythical Beast Boss Monster. We have Mythical Beast Master Cerberus. So I think this is Cerberus, the original Mythical Beast, just getting like Super Saiyan. It's really, really, really cool. He's got like an Anubis staff. Really good stats again. Well, this guy's a light spellcaster, surprisingly. And he's 28 by 28. Scales of 4, again, with the scales of 4. And likewise with the actual Pendulum effects, I really do not think that this deck is going to have any sort of focus whatsoever on Pendulum summoning. I will be surprised if the other monsters in the archetype have skills other than 4. I guarantee you that, well, I won't guarantee you because then I'll be wrong and then people will yell at me. I bet you that this deck is going to be focused on using the Pendulum monsters as spells when you need a spell, and monsters when you need a monster. And I think that's how you do spell counters right, at least to this extent. So we got Mythical Beastmaster Cerberus, the deck's boss monster as far as we know of. Light spellcaster, Pendulum effect, yada yada yada, 2000 attack, 2000 defense, Pendulum scale 4. You can only use this card's name's Pendulum effect once per turn. If you do not control another card in your Pendulum zone, you can destroy this card, and if you do, add 1 Mythical Beast effect monster from your deck to your hand. So this guy, he's a Rhoda. He's just really good. I mean, he's the boss monster, and he's also a searcher. Pretty good overall. Monster effect. Each time a spell card is activated, place 2 spell counters on this card when that card resolves. If there are 4 more spell counters on your field, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Pretty good again. And then once per turn, you can remove 4 spell counters from your field, then target 1 monster your opponent controls. Banish it, and if you do, this card gains attack equal to the original attack of the banished monster until the end of this turn. Really, 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 really good and scary effect, because that can result in OTKs. Because like this thing's already 2800. If you banish something like a Clearwing that you've already baited the effect out or something, he's 5800 now. At least until the end of the turn. That is really, really, really good. I mean, granted, yeah, you got to remove 4 spell counters, but that's not too hard to do, especially considering the other support that this deck has. Really, really, really great and interesting stuff. I can't wait to see what else we're going to get for this archetype. They also got a spell and a trap revealed, which is going to be very, very interesting to cover. Sorry about the interruption. Thought I heard a knock at my door. Anyway, so now we got the new Code Talker monster, which is X-Code Talker. He's the cover card of the freaking set. And I'm laughing because, well, honestly, out of the 3 Code Talkers we've seen, this guy's the most lackluster, but I feel like he's going to get better as time goes on. I do like his design. It's very interesting. It's very much different from the other 2 Code Talkers, which honestly kind of had me worried because seeing Decode Talker and Encode Talker and how similar they look, it could get boring real quick. It's like if every single Odd Eyes monster looked exactly like Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, but with slightly different colors, you know? So, seeing this a completely different design, but still having certain similarities. Like Enko Talker has this kind of like things going on here. I bet you this is a sword that pops out like him. And it just is very, very interesting that they're going with a completely different design, but still keeping parts of the similar design. I mean, he kind of looks like Decode Talker, but with like a lot more armor on. He's got this green color scheme going on too, which is completely different from the blue color scheme of Decode Talker and a lighter blue of Enko Talker, which is like a white blue cyan, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so also, unlike Decode and Encode, Xcode Talker is better in the main monster zones, whereas Decode and Encode are better in the extra monster zone. Anyway, so he's a Link 3 Wind Cyverse Link effect monster, obviously. Attack 2300, links up, left, and right, super obvious. Then he needs 2 more Cyberus effect monsters to go into. So, compared to the other 2 Code Talkers, he's not like the most generic thing in the world. But, however, if you're playing Cerberus, which you probably are if you're playing this guy, he's not hard to summon at all. I mean, he might as well be generic. So, when this card is linked, somebody can choose a number of unused main monster zones equal to the number of monsters in the extra monster zone. Those main monster zones cannot be used while this monster remains face up. So, not bad, but I hate it how he can only lock out main monster zones. Because, I mean, yeah, I get it that they don't want you to say, oh, hey, you can't go into the extract now, but, like, still, it would be really, really nice if you could, like, target more, like, maybe if it was, like, equal to the number of link monsters you control, or the number of monsters that he points to. Anything else would have been better, but at max, you can get rid of 2 zones your opponent has. And that's just not very great, I'm going to be honest. Now, you can still troll your opponent, because, like, let's say, for instance, if they have a Decode Talker out, okay, and you have, I don't know, trying to think of something. Oh, yeah, like, I don't know, I guess Enko Talker or something. Something that doesn't point towards your opponent's side of the field. And so then you make this guy, and you just target the 2 zones that your opponent's Decode Talker points to. That locks out their extra deck, kind of. I mean, yeah, they got the Decode, but they might as well just have no extra monster zones. It's okay. It's not really all that great, is what I'm trying to say. Now, later on, he can become a lot more deadly, especially as like more and more links become more and more necessary. Because I think that's really what makes this thing really great, is that you control your opponent's link monsters by locking out the zones that they point to. And I think that's really what he's made to do, kind of, in a way. And then monsters that this card points to gain 500 attack, and they cannot be destroyed by card effects. It even goes for if he's pointing towards one of your opponent's monsters, so yeah, don't put this guy in the extra monster zone, or pointing towards one of your opponent's extra deck monsters. So, yeah, just being able to pump up your other monsters' attack power and stuff, and making them indestructible is really, really great. Every Code Talker monster has some sort of attack manipulation effect, so I feel like they kind of just toss that in there for that. He's an okay card out of all 3 of the Code Talkers. I would say that out of all 3 Code Talkers, he's definitely the weakest, but however, he has potential to become a lot better as link monsters become more and more relevant and necessary in order to play the game. Then we got 3 Burst Blast Dragon. Believe it or not, but this is actually the first link monster that was shown in the anime before being revealed for TCG and OCG. So yeah, very interesting. And I gotta say, I like this card. I know some people are like hating on it, but I like him. So he's a Link 3 Dark Dragon effect monster. 2400 attack, up, left, and down. 2 or more non-token monsters. Once per turn when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated during a damage step, you can negate that activation. So this would have been really, really, really nice like 5 years ago when Boojins were relevant and like they had all their battle shenanigans with like Crane and Honest and stuff. Now, nowadays, that's still nice because, well, some decks play Honest, especially like Trick Stars and stuff, but a lot of the stuff that happens during the damage step just doesn't happen anymore. And heck, I don't even think you can use that to negate Zodiac Rapier. No, not Rapier. Whiptail, because I think Whiptail activates after the end of damage step. I can't remember. But still, pretty good effect for certain formats. If this card attacks a defense position monster, do piercing damage. Okay, pretty cool. And then this is the main thing with this guy. During your main phase, except to turn to discard with special summon, you contribute this card and target one link 2 or lower link monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then you can special summon a level 4 or lower dragon monster from your hand. Now, I know that this kind of doesn't make much sense, but if you got something like Call to Haunted or something to combo this with, it can get really, really nutty because you just got 2 free monsters, and then you can Call to Haunted them back, so then, hey, look at that, you got a free Link 5 if, well, we ever get a Link 5 that's not a match winner. So, yeah, he can be very, very good. And I feel like, again, like with Xcode Talker, he's going to get better as time goes on, and we get more reasons to play him. Obviously, if you're playing Volits and stuff, I don't know if you're going to want to play this guy or not. Personally, I kind of want to build like a revolver deck, like that just has all revolver stuff in it, because it just works all so well together, and I like it. But yeah, this guy's pretty cool. He's going to get better as time goes on. He's okay as of now, but however, we'll have to just wait and see what comes out in, what else is going to be in Extreme Force for him to be really, really good. And then we got a card that I never, in my wildest imagination, would have thought would be printed in real life. Fire Prison. Now, those who have watched the Vrains anime know this card very well. This card was made specifically to counter Yusaku and his Cerberus monsters. And that is just really crazy that they're printing a card like this in real life. And they kept most of its anime effects and got rid of its one drawback from the anime, which is just insane. Okay, so it's a field spell, obviously. Dragon monsters on the field gain 300 defense. Okay, that's nothing too major. I mean, it makes your Belt Link Dragon harder to kill. We're really great. Neither player can attempt to Link summon a Link monster that has less arrows than any Link monster already on the field. Also, only Link monsters can attack. If there are 2 or more Cerberus Link monsters on the field, apply the following effect. When a Cerberus monster's activated effect resolves, negate that effect. And Cerberus monsters on the field cannot attack or be targeted for attacks or effects. So, this card is like with freaking, 3-burst Blast Dragon and stuff. This card is going to get really, really good as time goes on because Cerberus are eventually going to get good enough to where they're going to be relevant in the meta. That's my general take on it because the deck is the main character's deck and it's just going to get good enough. Eventually, Cerberus is going to be there. Heck, I would argue that it's almost there already. It just needs better Link monsters to go into. And this card is just really, 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 really mean for being a searchable, thanks to, let's see here, Terraforming and Metaverse floodgate against Cerberus monsters. And hey, if you're playing a Dragon deck, you get a bit of extra defense. And then it's just anti-Link in general, which is just crazy because you'd figure they wouldn't release very many anti-Link cards, considering that they really want to push Links. But like we're getting this and Belt Link Dragon, which both are anti-Link cards. And if you have both of these out on the field, this and Belt Link, it's just stupid how just stupid it is. Because then you got both of their restrictions to worry about, and it just is an utter troll. It's such a stupid floodgate. Kind of situational, but I don't care. This is really, I'm just still dumbfounded that they're releasing this card, and without its big drawback from the anime. In the anime, so it had this effect right here, but it also had destroy this card if the Cerberus Link monsters that were already on the field at the time are removed from the field. So literally as simple as just Link summoning with the 2 Cerberus Link monsters. And yeah, so they got rid of that, and also they got rid of the effect for letting you attack directly instead of attacking the Cerberus monsters. So yeah, but oh well, still really, really, really mean. Very, very powerful field spell. I can definitely see this card being very, very good later on as time goes on. And then we got the first spell card for Mythical Beast, Magical Boost. Honestly, if I didn't know better, I would say that this is a fusion spell, but it's not. Because, look, it's like we got Jackal and we got an Eagle, which if I had to take a guess, this is going to be a monster later on. And they were like combining into this thing. So, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this deck is like Contact Fusion oriented. Like if we get a Contact Fusion for the deck or something. How cool would it be if it was a Fusion Pendulum? That would be awesome. I would love that. Konami, please do that. Don't like just release Stark and call it a day for Fusion Pendulums. Anyway, so this is a quick play spell card, Magical Boost. You can only activate one of this card's names per turn, so you can only activate one card of it, well, one copy of it per turn. Send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard and target one face-up card on the field that you can place a spell counter on. Place up to 2 spell counters on that card. Excuse me. If this card in its owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 monster from your deck that you can place a spell counter on, and if you do, place 2 spell counters on it. So, much in the same vein as like Subterror, Burrowing. If you set this card, and then like your opponent activates Twin Twist or MST, anything that destroys a spell trap card, and they target this card, you can chain it, target something that you control, put 2 spell counters on it. It'll then get destroyed by your opponent's card, and then, oh hey, you get to, you know, special summon and do shenanigans that way. But even then, it's still a really good card for your turn, because you just get 2 free spell counters on stuff. And granted, right now, the deck has no reason to get stuff in the graveyard, but it wouldn't surprise me if the cards that haven't been revealed yet have something to do with getting stuff in the graveyard. Then we got a Parallel Port Armor, this trap card, the trap card that won Yusaku the duel against Revolver. Took me a second to remember his name. I love it how it's literally just, this is what, like an HDMI cable, and then like we got more cables over here. It's just awesome. I love like all the little like references to tech and stuff, and the new frames oriented cards and stuff. It's a normal trap card. Target 1 link monster you control. Equip it with this card. It cannot be targeted for your opponent's card effects, and also it cannot be destroyed by battle. Honestly, really good. I like that. Just being able to just protect your Firewall Dragon or anything else from being targeted and from, well, being destroyed by battle. Definitely a really good card for that alone. And then it has another really awesome effect just for extra utility. You can banish this card and 2 link monsters from your graveyard and target a link monster you control. That monster can attack twice during each battle phase this turn. Now you might say, oh, but 2 link monsters is hard to do. Not really. If you've played anything like Cyverse or especially World Chalice, you fill up your graveyard with link monsters really, really fast and easily. Heck, I can see this card. Heck, I'll probably play this in World Chalice, because just being able to attack twice and protect my link monsters from being killed, really, 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 really good card overall in general. And 9 out of 10 times, whenever you have a link monster in your graveyard, it's staying in the graveyard, unless like you got like a Call to Haunted or something. So really good card overall, I would say. I can't wait to play test it. Granted, I can't on YGO Pro until we get link monsters on there, and I hate Dueling Book, except for when playtesting with friends. So I don't know, it's gonna be a while before I can play this card. Then we got the last card revealed for Magical Beasts, Mythical Beasts, whatever you want to call them. For now, at least. It's a continuous trap card. You can only use this card's name, second effect once per turn. Each time an opponent's... oh yeah, I forgot to mention. It's called Magical Burst. I freaking love this card art. It's like... I can't tell what's exactly going on, but it looks like a Master Cerberus. He's either pulling a staff out of this thing, or he's using the staff to create this like transmutation circle. Anyway, so... Each time an opponent's monster effect is activated, place 1 spell counter on this card when that effect resolves. You can send this card with 6 or more spell counters to the graveyard, add 1 spell card from your deck to your graveyard. from your deck to your hand. So, oddly enough, this card is generic. It doesn't require you to have a Mythical Beast or anything out. And I could totally see people playtesting this in any deck that they want, just because we use so many monster effects in the game now. That, oh hey, your opponent starts doing their combos, you flip this over, if they don't destroy it, you're going to get to search a spell card next turn. 9 times out of 10. So that is very, very interesting that they made this card super generic. Now granted, you do need to let your opponent resolve 6 monster effects, which granted is not hard to do. I mean, like, good lord, like look at Zodiac, they probably use like 20 monster effects in 1 turn. So being able to just do, just activate this, let your opponent rack up all those spell counters for you, and then get to search a free spell card next turn. Really good. I don't know if like people are actually going to try it out in decks other than Mythical Beasts. But in Mythical Beast itself, it's really good because it just gets so many counters so easily. And then, oh hey, once you use up the counters that you needed, you can then just toss it to the graveyard, search a spell card, maybe like Terraforming or Regeki, something to help you just OTK and kill your opponent. I really like it. And then we got stuff for the new structure deck, and I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm not too keen on the new structure deck. Not because it's bad or anything, no, it's the exact opposite. We got freaking counter fairies going to be meta more than likely. And I am not looking forward to that because Counter Fairies is one of the most annoying decks to play against. It's right up there with freaking Dark World for me and decks I don't like doing. So, yeah, this is going to be a fun format when this deck comes out. Anyway, so first we got EB. From what I've been told, it's like pronounced eBay, but I don't know. It's a level 1 Light Fairy effect monster, 500 attack, 200 defense. You can only use this card's name once per turn. Effect once per turn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish up to 2 Light Fairies from your graveyard or field, except this card. For each monster banished this way, add 1 level 2 or lower Light Fairy monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. So it just goes to grave, you banish 2 other light monsters and add 2 level 2 or lower light fairy monsters from your deck to your hand. Now granted, they haven't revealed any level 2 or lower light fairy monsters that are going to be in the structure deck except for this little dude. I can't say I don't think I honestly don't think anybody's going to play this. Like seriously, because counter fairies, they play a low monster count and a high counter trap count. So really, in all honesty, this guy's not going to be played, like, at all. I mean, maybe in Heralds, because you can search out the level 2 or lower Heralds, but nobody plays those in the first place, so yeah, this card is a waste of an Ultra for the structure deck. I like the artwork, though. I feel sad for him. He crashed his ship, and now he doesn't know what to do, and he's sad. Kind of cute. And then we got the broken stuff. Yay! And this is also... Oh, yeah, they updated it. Yeah, look at this! This is bullcrap. Okay, I'm going to talk about that here in a second. But first... Okay. Sanctuary of Parshath. I like the artwork. It's a cool card. And it does something that the deck finally needed. You know, just giving you another better version of Sanctuary in the Sky. It's a continuous spell, which sucks, but oh well. So, yeah, it's always treated as Sanctuary in the Sky while in the field or in a graveyard. Kind of wish I counted in Sanctuary in the deck so you could search him off as Zerald or whatever he's called. The dude, the monster searcher for the field spells that Konami was obsessed with back in the day. Fairy monsters gain 300 attack and defense. Also, face down spell and trap cards on the field cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Once per turn, you can target 3 cards with different names in your graveyard that are either counter traps or fairy monsters, or fairy monsters. Place them on top of your deck in any order. Alright, so... Okay, so now you can't destroy or get rid of your opponent's counter traps that are not going to let you play the game. And then when they do use them up, or you get rid of their monsters, this thing also doubles as a freaking pot of avarice for the deck. Konami, come on! Do you want people to just not want to play Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh my god. I hate this so much. Like, seriously, it's just like as simple as, I can't play, why am I bothering? I just tried to do something, nope, nope, strike, nope, Solemn Warning, nope, Divine Punishment, nope, nope. And hey, this thing counts as Sanctuary in the Sky, so you can play Divine Punishment with it. Yeah, have fun doing with triple Solemn Strike, triple Solemn, triple Solemn Judgment, because that's what Divine Punishment is. Let's see here. Solemn Warning, Grand Horn of Heaven, every other counter trap under the sun. Like, seriously, you're going to have to play, like, 3 copies of Counter Counter in order to survive. Or just flip up Road of Kree and then watch them cry. But either way, it's just really annoying. And I'm not looking forward to this format with this structure deck. And then, of course, they get... their own version of freaking Solemn Judgment. Yeah, because, you know, playing, 6 Solemn Judgments is a fair thing. So, well, it's more of an Infernity Barrier, but still. Okay, Reincarnating Parshath. Counter Trap card. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, you can reveal 1 counter trap card in your hand, discard 1 card, and pay 1,000 life points. Negate that activation, and if you do, return that card to the deck. Then you can special summon 1 Parshath monster from your deck or extra deck. Okay, so an Infernity Barrier that you have to reveal a counter trap in hand, discard a card, pay 1,000 life points, and then you shuffle that thing that you negated back into the deck, and then you get a free Parshath monster, which can either be the big boss monster, or it can be, you know, Air Knight Parshath that no one's played since GOAT format, or it can be the crappy Synchro. Why, Konami? Okay, now granted, that is one hell of a cost, okay? You got to reveal a counter trap in hand, you got to discard a card, and you got to pay 1,000 life points. That's 3 costs. That is 3 costs for this freaking thing's effect. But a Guiding Ariadne is a card and says, hey, you don't have to pay life points or discard cards for this. So literally the only cost that becomes this thing's cost is revealing a counter trap in hand if you have Guiding Ariadne out. Which is so stupid. Oh my god, this deck is gonna be... I hate it. It's not even out yet and I already hate it. Can we go back to Dragon Ruler format, please? Oh god. Okay. Sorry, I'm more of a pessimist than I am an optimist. Now then, let's talk about the bullcrap that is Konami giving Japan the Vendread and FAs not even a full month after they got released over here. Oh yeah, and then there's this new crappy 6 Samurai card. I'll cover him here in a second. And I might as well. I'll cover him now and then get to those stuff. So Legendary Samurai, Legendary Shadow of the 6 Samurai, Dark Warrior, level 4, 500 attack, 2000 defense. You can only use its first effect once per turn. You may need normal summon or spell summon a Shadow 6 Samurai. That's the big thing right there. Monster, you can spell summon this card from your hand. Once per turn, you can banish a level 4 or lower 6 Samurai monster from your graveyard. This card's attribute, level, attack, and defense become the same as the banished monsters until the end of this turn. Okay. This card would have been good if you just erased this word right here. Because here's the thing. This Shadow of the 6 Samurai monsters, with the exception of 2, suck. And even then, you don't need the 2 that don't suck. So, yeah, this card is not going to be played whatsoever. Okay, let's go back to the bullcrap that is this stuff getting released already. This just goes to show how much favoritism Konami has for Japan over TCG. Okay, we haven't even had these cards a month, and when does Extra Pack 2017 come out? I can't remember. Let's jump over to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, because I can't read Japanese. Extra Pack 17 comes out September 9th. So they are getting these barely a month after us. We still have dozens upon dozens, hundreds of cards. Here, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up real quick. Okay, OCG. Yeah, hundreds. There are 373 cards that are OCG exclusive that we still don't have. Now, granted, a crap ton of them are just crappy normal monsters, but that's still 373 cards that OCG has that we don't have. Now, granted, a lot of these are in main sets and sets that we are getting later on, but you get the point. A lot of these are, some of these are OCG exclusives. Like the freaking Crystal Beast monsters, we still don't have these over here. And then, like, we got the freaking White Stingray. He's a Vjump promo in Japan. Who knows when the hell we're going to get him. Lunalight Kaleido Chick. Oh, hey, what about Cyverse Gadget, or Lunalight Crimson Fox, or I don't know. Let's see here. Crap, I can't find one of the other annoying ones that. Oh yeah, Junk Collector. He still hasn't been out yet. When are we getting LeBell Man? I mean, he's not good, but still, I mean, like, you get the point. Look at all these cards that we still don't have over here. That Konami, we don't get an extra pack over here. Okay, why can't Japan wait a year for Vendreads and FA? Okay, it just annoys me just that Konami just unashamedly prefers the OCG over the TCG. They're like, oh yeah, we'll give you these already. And this worries me too, because what if Vendreads don't get any more support? I mean, like, or an FA. That'd be stupid, but like, they're already giving it to them. Okay? And if they wait till the next extra pack, which will be this time next year, the decks are going to be dead in the water for a full year. I mean, granted, Vendreads are pretty good by themselves already, but FA are unplayable borderline. Well, borderline unplayable, basically unplayable. So, it just really, really angers me that Konami doesn't even care at this point. Like, holy crap. Like, I'm all for evening out the TCG and the OCG, but there are a heck of a lot more OCG exclusives than there are TCG. You're like 51 TCG exclusives, and like the entirety The Subterror and Spiral archetypes are being printed in the extra pack. That's the main draw. Tyler the Great Warrior does not count because that card is for a kid with I think he had cancer or something. I can't remember. And then like, yeah, like almost all of these are getting printed in the extra pack. Okay, like, yeah, that's so stupid. And then like, yeah, all of these are getting printed in the extra pack. Oh my god. Except for like Samurai Skull. We don't know about that for sure. So, Konami, so OCG gets as many freaking... They get all of our TCG exclusives, and there's still almost 400 OCG exclusives that we don't have yet. Now, granted, again, a lot of those are coming out in sets that we are getting later, but there's still a lot that we haven't gotten and have been out in Japan for years, like the Crystal Beast Pendulums, which aren't even playable on the deck anymore, thanks to the new rules. Thank you, Konami, for not thinking anything through. Okay, yeah, that's a rant for another day, but you get the point. That just angers me. And hey, OCG players, cool, you get the zombie stuff and the basically naked revenants over here. People are trying to tell me that that's a really tight dress she wears. I don't see it, but anyways. I don't know. What do you guys think of the new stuff? Do you think it's bullcrap that Konami is giving the Vendreads and the FA? Which, by the way, they've confirmed that, yeah, it's Formula Athlete. Already, do you think that's bullcrap? Do you not really care one way or the other? Do you like any of the new stuff coming out in Extreme Force? Are you impressed? Are you as, what's the word I'm looking for? Unimpressed as I am. It just feels so lackluster. Like, it really, I was hoping for something more, like something really big, like maybe the Mectrocities or the Jack Knights or whatever the new archetype's going to be with the whole World Legacy stuff going on. Anyways, either one way or the other, this was just an overall lackluster Vjump. It has a few cool cards, in my personal opinion. But, yeah, guys, what do you guys think? Thank you all for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And see you all later. Legend for Life. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my 2 Patreons so far. To my 2 wonderful, wonderful Patreons, Cambrock223 and Night Zone. You guys are incredibly, incredibly awesome. And it just, I can't express my thanks enough. Thank you guys both. And I hope everybody has a great day. See y'all later. Peace out.